All right, now these were some of the questions that I asked him. I didn't get answers to all of them, but here we go. Okay, I asked him regarding Jesus' coming in the clouds in 70 AD, according to Matthew 24 and verse 30. Was this the same Jesus who ascended to heaven? There's his answer to the right. Yes. Did they see him coming on a cloud per the text? He said some saw the judgment come. That's his way of saying yes. And he put yes out there because he takes this coming on the cloud in Matthew 24:30 as a coming in judgment. And that's correct. We see the same thing there. Was that coming at the end of that age for that generation? Here's his answer. That generation did see the end of that age. Well, wait a minute. If that generation saw the end of that age, how are we still in that age? Unless Michael has 3 ages, but you don't find that in Scripture. When the Bible spoke of the age versus the age to come, it was always this age, which was the age in which they lived, standing over against the age to come, which would follow it. There was no intermediate age between this age and the age to come. Now, all of those scriptures that I had on the screen before, when I was talking about, Justin Martyr's belief and et cetera, where when we were back there in Isaiah 65, and he said there would be no sexual intercourse in the age to come. And he cited Luke chapter 20. There is no intermediate age between those. But see, Luke chapter 20 identifies this age, that is the age that stood over against the age to come, as the age of Moses. And that's exactly what you have in Matthew 24 and verse 3. Now, look at another of Michael Holloway's comments. I asked him, was that coming at hand? I don't have that question on here, but his answer is on here. He says, yes, his coming was at hand, imminent, and shortly to come. See, he can't deny because he's acknowledged that Matthew 24:30 was fulfilled in 70 AD when the temple fell. So therefore, he must acknowledge that it was at hand. Now, let's think about this one for just a minute. How far away in time was Jesus' statement that he was going to come on the clouds in Matthew 24:30 to the time that it occurred? It was about 40 years away. He spoke those words approximately 30 AD, and it came to pass in 70 AD, about 40 years later. Now, the apostles wrote near the end of their ministry, some maybe 20 to certainly 10 years out from that event. And we have all those statements. The coming of the Lord is at hand. He is coming shortly. He's coming soon and very soon, etc. Now, he says that his coming was at hand, imminent, and shortly to come to pass. We agree. See, that's the preterist position. That's a full preterist position. But see, that at hand and that imminence and that shortly to come to pass took place in a single generation. That's Matthew 24:34. Assuredly, I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away till all these things take place. You see, that's a single generation. But now look at what he said here. Just like it is now. Okay. I don't know how old Michael Holloway is, but he might be 40. He looks like he got some teenagers at least. Maybe he's got some grown children. I don't know. But the point is, he's lived a generation. How many generations does he have to live to be just like it was in the first century? See, that argument destroys him. Just like it is now. Wait a minute. Didn't Hal Lindsey make that same argument back in 1988? Or no, I think when he wrote The Late Great Planet Earth, which was, what, 1970 something? At any rate, here's what Hal Lindsey said, okay? Within a single generation, 40 years of Israel, that is the modern state of Israel, settling in the land, which they did in 1948, within 40 years, Jesus was going to come. Now, see, that would be just like it was in the New Testament. You got one event that happened in 40. Give me another one that happens in 40. Well, 1988 came and nothing happened. Not only was it Hal Lindsey, it was Harold Camping and Edgar Wisnott and a bunch of them. And so now we got Michael Holloway. So he needs to tell us when this 40-year period is going to be up, when it started and when it's going to be up, for it to be just like it is now. Trying to claim it's at hand then, and you acknowledge that at hand meant it happened in a single generation in the first century, and then to tack on this just as it is now. By the way, can you find that in the scripture? Show it to us in the scripture where it says just like it is now. Another question that I had asked him was about restoring the kingdom to Israel. And he says, well, Israel did not even have the kingdom then, which is why the disciples asked, why would he restore the kingdom? I'll grant you that. I rephrased the question and asked him about the kingdom of Judah. But even here, with the restoration of the kingdom to Israel, Acts chapter 3 says it would happen. All right, well, I think that covers that, and now if I have a chance, I'll come back to that